Welcome to 108 Gate. We are looking at the Divine Masculine reading first. Hope you are well. And what have you been up to? What are your plans? Are any of these resonating from the last few days? Do you have something big you're working on? It feels like the flow of loving words is increasing. The flow of loving words towards something is increasing, because the appreciation of how far you've come, appreciation of how far you intend to be going, to the point of not actually knowing the end point, because you just want to open it up, open it up, open it up. I feel like we're going more so now into this space of expansion. The split that I mentioned before, it feels like it's becoming apparent now, and it's actually happening on some level. Obviously it'll deepen, but on most of the aspects that we were speaking of, the process of the split, shall we say more accurately, is in full swing. So we are firmly now 1 degree in Capricorn with the Sun, and Mercury has retrograded back into Sagittarius at 29 degrees. Interesting. So that energy that we had yesterday, this is probably why I was saying it, and this is why I could feel it. So the energy we had yesterday, if you haven't checked out those readings, I highly recommend it, because they were quite insightful of what is about to come back again. Because if you think about Sun and Capricorn were at the same point, and now Sun in Capricorn and Mercury has gone into Capricorn, hit the same point. But then Mercury in retrograde means it's gone back away from it, and then it's going to come back to the Sun again while it's in Capricorn. So as it's coming back again, don't be surprised if those same themes came up as yesterday, because like I said, it's the split beginning to happen. On some level you can feel the split happening. On some level the split has to go deeper, so to actually make the break, so to speak. So certain things now is more and more important, and I don't want to keep harping on about the same things, but at the same time I guess that's part of my job and my role here, to just keep harping on the same points, the same points, the same points, the same points, until they're seen through. As we know, it's not a instant thing with some things. Some things are instant, some things have to be worked towards. That you don't get a certain level of fitness or a certain level of bulk when you're bodybuilding or something just by doing one session. You have to keep it consistent, you have to keep going, and even when you hit your point of your goal, you still have to keep it going to make sure that you're consistently improving, that you're consistently sustaining what you've worked so hard to achieve. So words of love feel like the more you're seeing this progress, the more you're encouraged to keep going with those things, keep going with the encouragement for self, keep going towards the people who are encouraging and have encouraging words for you. There is no space for anyone to be belittling you. There's no space for anyone to be laughing at what you're doing or undermining what you're doing, disrespecting what you're doing. No, nor is there any space for you to be doing that. So it's literally protecting that which you're building, protecting that which you're increasing the higher value of, protecting that which somebody else might not fully understand. And as I'm saying that, again, we're having that flow of energy, the Pluto 29 degrees Capricorn, that's pulling out as you're doing more words of love and going into Capricorn with the sunshine. And then Mercury is going to be coming back in there. It's going to be easier to communicate to yourself what you need from the new structure, as Pluto is carrying out the last bits of the change. Pluto isn't a fast moving planet, so that's a good thing on some level. But what I will say is really, really utilise this beautiful energy of the Sun going into Capricorn and Mercury doing this dance literally at the 29 degrees of Sagittarius, 0 and 1 degree of Capricorn, doing that dance just to literally ushering in some more blessed energies from Sagittarius, being go-getter, being very positive on many levels, adventurous and exuberating this kind of energy, which is very it's feeling very entrepreneurial, it's feeling very expressive and exploratory. So you're exploring new things, new aspects of self. Really loving this energy. So keep going in that energy, in that direction. Fortitude, be brave and dig deep. You literally have no limits here, it feels like. Your only limit is where you're limiting yourself. And when I say that, I mean, the more fear you let go of, the more capacity you have to go into something with a larger heart, a larger confidence, a larger concentration of focus on something that's worthwhile. It's literally, how do you want to play it? How do you want to do it? So renewal. Renewal comes from giving yourself more words of love, encouraging yourself, encouraging those things, the things you're working on. I made progress today. It might be a tiny piece of progress on the level, on the scale of like where you're going or what you're working on in the big term. But that tiny bit of progress is another tiny bit of progress. So if you go from it's 2 points away from not making progress or going backwards. So not only are you going forward one, you're not going backwards one. So that's 1, 2 steps forward. You may have to go 1 step back, 2 steps back, but at least you're not going 2 steps back and then another step back. You're going forward. I hope that's making sense. Every step forward is a step forward. Honouring it, appreciating yourself, going into it in this manner. Like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it until it stops coming in the energy field. It's literally just go and look at your bigger picture. Go into your bigger picture, feel into your bigger picture, explore energetically your bigger picture. And it doesn't have to match other people's. It's probably not going to match other people's, actually. And again, the directions you're going in, it has to be correct for you. It may be that someone else has a correct vision for themselves. Just your paths splitting off. So 5 of Swords, having this conflict. There's some kind of conflict within. Right, let's get into the heart of it. Woo! Deep breath. This is coming in as 15 degrees Aries, Chiron retrograde. So Chiron is retrograde, 15 degrees Aries. There are some wounds that are coming up that have been too difficult to bear. They've been too difficult to face. They've been too difficult to acknowledge. They just shatter a reality that you may have built around a lie to yourself. They may shatter a perspective or a perception of someone or something. So all of that work you've done to protect yourself from the reality of it, protect yourself from the truth of it, that is where it has to crumble. Those of you who are doing this and are on that way, you'll be all right. Those of you who are not ready, you'll be all right too. You'll just go in a different direction. That shattering of the illusions you may have created, it does feel like self has created, because you had to get through certain things. You had to get through certain situations, scenarios, relationships, interactions, whatever it is. That shattering is coming in quite profound. And as that comes in, it's a matter of it's like if you feel the ricochet of it, you need that time and you need that space to not only feel the tremble, but as you're feeling the tremble, remembering, holding yourself steady and making sure that you're safe, making sure you're feeling safe, you're feeling content, and that you're aware of where you're needing to just stay still for a moment or 2 or 3. Then identify when you're ready to move on to the next step. It's a very delicate process. This is not an easy point of the process. This is a lot of realizations coming up. This is things going to be in your face. This is again that energy of when you're stepping forward for yourself, it may be that you're creating, not directly, it just happens to be that others are going to have tower moments because of you choosing to put yourself first. Because previously, before now, you hadn't put yourself first, and you can't what's the word, compromised. So all those things that were compromised and you're reclaiming back is going to now be pulling on the very people that interacted with that compromise, that made you feel like you had no choice but to compromise. That tugging out means that there are going to be some tower moments for others. It's not your fault. And that's probably why a lot of people are going in the other direction and not having everything in place, or not ready to make those other steps towards the tower moments, because of the not being able to have that bravery and dig deeper just yet. Doesn't mean it can never happen. It just means that particular thing might not be happening now. So as you're going in the correct direction for you, new emotions being spilt, new emotions being expressed. It feels like there's tears of joy, tears of relief, tears of release, tears of expression of grief that's been stuck within you. There's so much going on. There's so much being expressed. Really making sure you take some time for yourself to be quiet, making sure you take some time to be still. The communication, the more you're cleaving out, the momentum, the communication is becoming clearer and cleaner. So I was watching, I can't remember what it was. There was something about testing when something's clear. And you kind of drip the liquid, and basically if the liquid has any residue or sediment or anything like that in it, it's still not ready. So doing a process again, redoing the process again until it's clear, crystal clear. It's so clear that you can see right through it, that you can see and feel and content and confident that it's clear of impurities, it's clear of any unwanted bacteria or anything like that. It's a bit of a, oh god. Right, we're going to get one more card here. It feels like the feminine energy really wants to push in, wants to take over, wants to like kind of like, yep, right, we know we're going to do that. Keep doing that. Now let's see how we can apply ourselves emotionally. No wonder. Okay. Seven of Swords, Five of Swords. Clearly, so now swords going that way, you're holding your ground, I'm protecting myself. Swords going that way, I'm holding my ground, protecting myself. So one sword going this way, one sword going that way. They're going out, these are coming in. This is in the middle, renewal. This is the process of renewal. So as you are becoming more and more confident to say what you need to say, you're becoming more and more confident to do what you need to do. The renewal will increase. The new renewal will be more obvious. This isn't a time to be worried about if others know what your renewal is about. This isn't the time to be sitting there and trying to explain to people what the renewal is. It's about you focusing on the renewal and being in the process of renewal. The more you are in that, you got the Eight of Wands supporting that. Like I said, don't be surprised if there's conflict coming in from that and tower moments created from that. Not because it's creating it, because you're intentionally creating it. It's because it wasn't protected in the original time. It wasn't protected and allowed to blossom. This wasn't allowed to blossom in the first place. This was taken from you. This was denied you. This was where you weren't strong enough to protect before. Time to begin again, stronger and better, renewing now. So this is where, yes, you'll have some conflict coming. You might even be having the conflict within you, in thoughts, in actions. Should I do this? Should I not? I can't do this. I can't hurt them. Can't hurt their feelings. But the thing is, That's what it's about, because you've kept it going for so long. Now it's going to be even more difficult. If on the other side those people don't sort it out now, it's going to get more and more difficult to do. That's a whole different Dante's Inferno kind of pit. Not going there. Page of Cups, new expression of things, cleansing, purifying, all that stuff. So words of love, fortitude, be brave and dig deep, because this is going to be awkward. It's going to be difficult for some people. It's going to be made more difficult, but others can't cope with it. Others can't understand it. Like I said, it's not about you explaining everything to them, because they're not going to possibly understand. It's about you just staying focused and doing what you need to do for your higher good, for the long-term higher good anyway. Trusting the process. With love, with consideration, with kindness, with gentleness. So, like I said, we're going to go to the Divine Feminine reading now, because that's a lot. Be kind to yourselves. Be easy on yourselves. So, when I see you in the Divine Feminine reading, let's see where the energy goes from there. For now, peace and love.